How are we, lads? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and as always, joined by Callan's calling. Callan, how are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, good, mate.
Have you
Ready.
recovered from Melbourne? I have gotten over it from the weekend, and I feel refreshed, but how are you feeling after that?
Yeah, no, I feel good. Bit disappointed with the game, but yeah, enjoyed the weekend.
Oh, so did I. The game was disappointing, and we'll definitely touch on that soon. But the weekend overall, outstanding stuff. Um, Hello to everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's well. Welcome to episode 17 of the Cowboys TV podcast. Looking forward to this weekend. Obviously, we got a lot of Origin players out and whatnot, but it's an exciting time to see how the depth players go and all the young ones coming through. Obviously, we don't have that many young ones this weekend, but we've got a debut to talk about, but it's going to be a great weekend. Episode 17 of the podcast, guys. If you're new around here, don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to Callan's channel yet, make sure you do. Go and subscribe to Callan's Calling. The link to his channel is in the description box down below. So click on the link to Callan's channel and go and check him out on YouTube. Hello to Jason Reader in the live chat. Hello to Cooper. Hello to Luke, Melbourne Storm fan. Hello to River. Hello to Will. Hello to everyone that's watching. Like and subscribe, guys. We appreciate it. It means a lot to us. So, yeah, shout out to everyone that's watching the stream. And if you're watching the podcast back, whether you be at work or you're driving home from work or you're on your way to school, whatever it may be, thank you very much for tuning in, as always. We appreciate it. And if you guys have some questions for us that you want to leave in the live chat or in the comment section below, me and Callan are more than happy to read them, and we look forward to the feedback. We really do. So,
Well, if it's on the live feed, I can't see them. So
okay, all right. I'll let you know if there's a question for you anyway. I'll let you know. It'll come up on my end, but. All right, we might as well get straight into it and talk about that that disappointing result from the weekend that we don't really want to talk about, but we need to have a bit of a chat about it. So Friday night, obviously, down there in Melbourne, the Cowboys lose to the Storm, 38 points to 14, and in the end, it was 6 tries to 3. A 24-point margin for the Storm. But, Callan, I know we didn't play well, and I know we bombed a lot of chances in this game, but I feel like if we had a loss by 18 or 16, that sort of felt like the right margin. I don't know about 24. 24 just didn't seem like the right scoreline for me. I know they scored on the bell off a knock on or a ricochet that happened, but I feel like 24 points didn't really reflect the game.
yeah, I honestly, I do. I think we were very poor. It looked all one-sided to me. I'm surprised the margin wasn't bigger, to be honest.
Wow. Far out. I don't know. Like, I know we didn't play well, and the first half was, the first 20 minutes exactly, especially, weren't good. We didn't score our first try till the 21st minute, but that first 15 minutes was so poor. We just gave them so many easy opportunities. Like Jerome Hughes was having a field day. He had an absolute blinder of a game. He had 2 tries, 2 of them in the first half. I felt like when we got it back to 12-4, we had so many chances. We bombed so many opportunities. There were a couple of times where it should have let the ball go to the edges, and we had some numbers and some good opportunities there. I know me and you were whinging about it. We're like, just let the bloody ball go. And The one for me that I think absolutely changed the game and was a real momentum killer was right before half time. I think it was about 3 minutes to half time. Drinkwater drops it over the try line. If he hangs onto that ball and scores, we're going in 12-10 down. But we have the momentum on our side. We end up dropping over the try line, and then they score with about 30 seconds to half time. And instead of it being 12-10, it's 18-4. It was an absolute killer.
Yeah, well, every time they were in a position to threatening our line, they
Yeah.
nearly crossed it.
Yeah, they were very dangerous.
Goal line defence has been very, very poor this year.
Yeah, last week we spoke about how to fix the defense, and we did not get any answers for that. That's for sure. We didn't get any answers for that at all. I don't know. I know we weren't good, and we didn't really play a full game here, but if Drinkwater scores that try right before half time, it's the biggest what if. It's 12. It would have been 12-10. We had all the momentum going into halftime, and it drives me insane, Callum, because from probably our first try in the 21st minute, from the 21st minute to the 37th minute, we were all over the Storm, and we bombed 3 or 4 tries. I feel like if we go in down 12-10, I think we see a different game. I really do. I'm not saying we win, but it's definitely a tighter game than what it ended up being. And then I know we came back. We got it back to 24-14. We got 2 tries in 3 minutes. But, that was on the back of a couple of offloads and a couple of bounces going our way as well. So we took our luck. But I don't know. We made errors at the worst times, like last tackle errors, getting tackled on the last tackle. Some of the kick options were not great. And, when we play the Storm, who are one of the top 4 teams, you got to take your chances and you got to defend better. And we just didn't do it.
Yeah, like I said, every opportunity I felt like they had, they took it and they scored. And every opportunity we had, we
bombed it.
We didn't use the ball. This one out shit all the time. Like I've said this. I don't know. I'm getting sick of hearing my own voice saying it over and over again. But you can't keep running and dummying and think you're going to fool everyone. It's if that's your weapon, if the show and go's your weapon, you've got to use the ball. 4 or 5 plays in a row, take one step past the ball. Then they start thinking, oh, he's just going to pass. And then you get your opportunity and away you go. You're keeping the opposition in 2 minds all the time.
It drove me insane because, like you said, we were dumbing the ball a lot, show and go. We just, oh, God. Obviously Tom Dearden, right? Tom Dearden, he loves a show and go, and he loves it, and he does it so well, and he does make teams look silly. But everyone else was doing the same thing. Robertson kept doing it. Drinkwater and Purdue were doing it a lot of the time as well. It just became really predictable. And the Melbourne Storm, they just don't give you a chance. They really don't. And it looked like everybody was trying to do the same thing without doing something different. And just so many bomb chances. Like in the first half, I think we bombed at least 3 tries on the left-hand side. And then obviously the Drinkwater one over to the try line. And then on the right side, we bombed one as well in the corner with Rob. Definitely a lot of what ifs if we had have executed some of those missed chances. But like you said, the Storm were way better. And when they were on the attack, even if they didn't score, they looked very dangerous a lot of the time. And they looked threatening a lot. So Our goal line defense needs to really improve because goal line defense is probably the easiest to defend in the NRL because there isn't a lot of space when you're 10 meters out on the attack. But for some reason, everyone just looks so nervous there, and we're just conceding too many points. The Nelson or Solomona try, that was inexcusable. That try should not have been scored. And the first try they scored with Katoa, he just went straight through. Dearden and Laybut sort of looked at each other like, what the hell happened there?
Yeah, well, he split them, didn't he? Run
Yeah.
straight between the two of them, and
They were both shocked. Yeah. Now, disappointing game, really disappointing. Like, should have been 12-10, didn't take the chance, got it back to 24-14. I actually had a lot of hope and belief at that stage of the game. I was like, here we go. Now we're in the game. Here we come. But bad errors at dumb times and just, you give Melbourne, if you make 2 or 3 errors in a row, Melbourne are probably going to score 9 times out of 10. So missed opportunities, and Melbourne ended up running away with the game in the end, which was disappointing. But obviously, we'll probably give our best play. Obviously, we didn't have a lot of players who were great the other night. I probably found 4 of them. Maybe they had good games. Everyone else definitely below their best. Who would you say was our best on Friday night in that loss to the Storm?
oh shit,
Tough one, isn't it?
Nene, I'll go Nene.
Nanai, yeah, he was good. I thought Hess was all right off the bench. He brought a lot of impact, but I think he made 1 or 2 errors that were just at the worst time. But his impact has been very strong. We spoke about Robson last week, whether he should play or not because of that injury he was carrying with the hamstring. I think he shouldn't. It's clear he shouldn't have played, right?
Well, I don't want to keep giving Peyton a hard time. I got reprimanded on the fan page for a few expletives.
Oh no!
But like for me, like the guys, he's going to play. He's going to play Origin. It's like, why overload the guy if he's not 100%?
Yeah.
Why overload him?
Yeah. Just quickly in the live chat, Cooper says most points against us seem to occur when McLean's off the field. I haven't noticed that, and I must admit, Jordan McLean, I was very critical of him a few weeks back about him being too slow, but his stints have been quite good the last few weeks. So you might be onto something there, Cooper. I might keep a close eye on that this weekend because game 150 for Jordan McLean, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But for me, like, I thought Vialia did okay on the weekend. I know he got suspended for that chicken wing, but I thought he went all right. I thought he was one of our better players on Friday night. Drinkwater, I know he had that bad error and that knock on over the try line, but I thought he was quite good. Dearden had some good moments himself, but again, like, Melbourne did a pretty good job on him. Who else? Honestly, I thought Sam McIntyre worked really hard. He always does, to be honest, Sam McIntyre. Everyone else, definitely below their best. Disappointing game. Zach Laybut for me as well. He needs to really he needs to find another gear. Like, I know he's only a few games back from injury, but he needs to find some form quickly. He was disappointing on the weekend. So hopefully he can find some form on Saturday against the Dolphins. But you know what? I'll say this. Jackson Paulo, wasn't too sure about him. Thought he was all right on the weekend as well, Callan. Paulo?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought he played all right.
He was solid. He done well. So, Yeah, tough game, but we can only learn from it. It's the Melbourne Storm. We can only learn from it. Anything else you want to touch on from that game on the weekend?
Just that we hadn't won there since 2015.
Yeah,
I was hoping we were going to break a break the bloody
the curse.
hoodoo.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know the weather's got to have a small factor.
Oh,
I you know I just think when everything's against you, I think to me that's when you got to stand up.
yeah. You got to overcome the adversity. I remember last year we played the Raiders in Canberra, and it was around. I think it was around 15 last year. It was around this time last year, and we were underdogs in that game. We weren't favourites on the betting odds or anything. I think we were like $2.20 or something, and everyone was tipping Raiders because of the cold weather. And by kickoff, it was like 2 degrees, and then when the game was over, it was about -1. And it was a dry night in Canberra, but the weather, the players had to adapt to the weather, and they did, and we had a nice win. But the weather in Melbourne must be a different beast. I don't know, man. The players didn't adapt to it. I don't believe anyway. It didn't seem like it.
Yeah, I just feel like the hunger, the weather's got to have a factor. But like you say with the Canberra game, we
Similar
were.
weather.
I didn't get to see all of that game. That I was driving to Townsville
Yeah.
for Mrs. was dancing down there, so
Ah.
I got there and we were way ahead. Then we nearly give it away to them.
Yeah, I remember that game. I think we were up 28-0, and then they got it back to 28-10 or something, and then we ended up winning. I think it was 34-16 or something.
Yeah, because
Whatever
they
it was.
scored a late flurry of tries, and I thought,
Yeah, I
here we
remember
go.
that.
Because I'm pretty sure we went on a bit of a run after that game.
Yeah, I think we beat the Roosters a week or two before that when no one thought we'd beat them, and that was without our State of Origin players down there. So, yeah, I think you're right. I think we went on a bit of a run there. All right, moving on from that debacle on Friday night, whatever you want to call it. It was a tough game. Team list news for the Dolphins. So Saturday night, obviously we play them up there in Townsville, and we have a few changes due to Origin. So Murray Talangi is back on the wing. So Jackson Paulo drops out to the reserves. Braden Burns will come into the centres for Viliami Vailea, who's out for a week suspended. Jake Clifford comes in for Tommy Dearden at halfback. Carl Lawton goes to hooker for Reece Robson. Nanai and Bateman are out, so McIntyre will go to the back row with Kai O'Donnell. Tamalolo replaces Ruben Cotter. And on the bench, McKaylee comes in on the bench, and so does Caden Lars, who will debut against the Dolphins, the son of Tom Leroy Lars, former Canberra Raiders, Queensland prop. I'll be honest, Callan, even though we got a lot of players out this week due to Origin and two blokes suspended, I think it's still a fairly strong side.
I'm I love this team.
You love it?
I reckon it's a great side, not just because me man Jake Clifford's back, but the McKaylee in the side. Finally,
Yeah.
Caden Lars gets his start.
Good on him.
Jason Tamalalo back.
At lock as well.
Yeah, his preferred spot. Hess starting.
Yeah.
Kai O'Donnell.
McIntyre and O'Donnell in the back row.
Yeah, there's just so much to like about this side for me.
Braden Burns in the centres, which is exciting.
Well, just thinking to myself, like, no good trying to think what Peyton would do, but what would we do if Braden Burns just because I feel like he's going to have a big game.
I think so too.
Like
I
he's
hope he has a
been,
big game.
when I had a yarn to him at the members there, like he is just chomping at the bit to get back on the field.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's good. And to be honest, the games that Braden Burns has played for us, he's done very well. And that was on the wing. That was on the
Yeah.
wing as well. So his preferred position is in the centers. And obviously, Viley is out for a week. But if Braden Burns has a huge game, I'm not saying he'll replace Vilea, but there is every chance that he could get picked again next week. If Braden Burns has a game where he's played way too good, Peyton may have no choice but to leave him in there.
Well, like Zach Laberts hasn't been that good.
Yeah.
Do you replace him? You know, when Vilea comes back.
I tell you, Callan, and I'm not here to bash players. We're just giving our opinion. I don't want anyone to take it out of context on social media, but Zach Labart has had one good game since returning, and he's been underwhelming a little bit. I think the injury, he's coming back from the ACL. It's a hard injury to come back from. Maybe he needs a bit more time in Queensland Cup just to get right. Maybe the NRL's at the moment's a little bit too hard for him. I'm not sure, but if like you said, Braden Burns has a big game here. Maybe he takes Zach Labart's spot next week, and Labart goes back to Cup for 2 or 3 games just to get some more match fitness and get right. Because on the weekend, Nick Meaney, who is a quality player, mind you, he gave Zach Labart an absolute nightmare. And the week before the Tigers game, Stafford Toa absolutely gave it to Zach Labart, scored 2 tries, and Stafford Toa looked near unstoppable in that game. So I don't know. I think Zach Labart needs a big game. And the other game he played, where we played Manly, defensively, Labart had a tough night there out as well. So I think Labart's under a lot of pressure here to keep his spot. I really hope Braden Burns has a big game on Saturday. I really do.
Yeah, same.
The other one I want to talk to you about is Jackson Paulo drops out into the reserves. And I kind of feel for him a little bit because he'd done well the last 2 games. But with Talangi back in, Braden Burns is a centre. Paulo can play centre, but Burns is a specialist centre. Do you think it's a bit unlucky for Paulo?
Oh, yeah, of course. I think it would have been – I think the only thing Derby's is that he's improving all the time and he's got a few more games under his belt. I feel for Paulo too.
I definitely feel for Paulo.
I think it could have been like just putting 2 names in a hat and picking one out. To me, they're quite similar in the way that they sort of attack the ball. They want to have a go. The pair of them. So, but obviously it's no secret that I'm very excited for my man Jake Clifford, and I hope that he has an absolute blinder. Well, he's going to need to for us to win. He's going to need to be at his best.
Well, I mean, we've spoken about it 100 times, and I want this to happen, and we need this to happen. Next week, I'm assuming our Origin players will back up. I hope they do anyway. They'll probably go Dearden and Purdue, but what we need to see, we said it 100 times, Dearden and Clifford need to be the halves for the remainder of the year. Unless someone gets injured, that needs to be the combination. It just has to be. I know I was critical of Jake Clifford in the games that we won because he wasn't doing much and he was treading water a little bit. But looking at the bigger picture right now, and with us being a bit up and down the last month or so, it's clear to me right now that Dearden Clifford is the best halves pairing we have. I think Purdue is going to be a very good half one day. Maybe do that experiment next season. Let him have 3 months of preseason with Tommy. Do that next year. But for the remainder of 2025, we need Dearden and Clifford to be the halves combination. It just has to happen. Purdue in the centers, and then the other center can be whoever you want. Zach Labart, Braden Burns, Vilea. Take your pick. Put them all in a hat. Whoever performs best gets the spot. But
well, look, to me, I don't think it's going to care what these blokes do. I think Peyton's got his idea. But for me, if Burns and Clifford come out and just kill it, to me, it should be them. And I'd have Vilea on in the other center. And I'd have Braden Burns.
Yeah.
We haven't had kickoff yet, but
the
way we've played is we're that close behind a bunch of teams that are bottlenecking 8.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this game. Well, this game, because if we can't afford to lose anymore if we lose this game. To me, this is our season on the line.
Oh, that's a big call.
Well, you've said it like games and games ago. Oh, we really need to win this game, and we haven't. We really need to win this game. We haven't. So which game do we need to win? Next week, the week after.
Well, if we lose this, we oh shit. Okay, if we lose this, we probably fall out of the 8. I'm just looking at the ladder here.
Because what I'm saying is, if we lose this week and then we lose any more after that, it's going to make it very hard. Especially if those teams that are around us start winning.
Yeah. Well, I'm just having a look at the ladder now. We're coming 6, which you probably wouldn't have thought so, with the way things have been going the last few weeks. But that bloody 15 points, that friggin' odd number that we got because of that draw with Penrith, that's either going to help us or it's going to screw us. It's going to happen. It's going to be one or the other. Now,
well, I think what's in our favour is all those teams on 10 points that haven't been winning, because a lot of them have been on 10 points for a while.
Yeah, so at the moment we're on 15, and from 7 to 12, everyone else is on 14 points. So it's very close. Now, if we were to lose, which I hope we don't, the Broncos will automatically overtake us if we lose, which means, and if Dolphins beat us, we'll fall to 8th. If Manly win against Titans, if Roosters beat the Knights, if Dragons beat Sharks, and if Rabbitohs beat Bulldogs, they would all jump us. So we could go from
14 points. I meant, sorry.
We could go from.
I'll tell you, this teams on 14, isn't there?
Yeah, there's about fucking how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 teams on 14. And we're on 15. It's crazy. Now, if those teams that win this weekend win and we lose, we could go from 6 to fucking 11, which is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But if we win, we could go to 5th if the Sharks lose to the Dragons. So it's absolutely crazy. But this weekend we play Dolphins. It's 6 versus 7. It's a fairly, it's a pretty close game. Dolphins have won 6 and lost 7. We've won 5 and lost 6 and had a draw. So it's very.
They've got a pretty strong side too.
Yeah, they've been playing well.
They're only really missing Hammer.
Yeah, I think they lost Saifidi. They lost Tom Gilbert. Flegler's still out. They're losing. They lost a few forwards, but it's still a very good team. Yeah, you're right. I mean, if we lose this, that'll be 2 losses in a row, and then we've got Roosters next week, who are just a point behind us, breathing down our neck. So I know you're saying it's a must win, and based off the ladder, it arguably is. But if we lose this, that Roosters game next Sunday is going to be a cracker. It's going to be a big, really important game, really important. So fingers crossed we get it done on Saturday. I think we've named a really strong team. I think we can still win. Just quickly, I want your thoughts on this. What do you think about Kai O'Donnell getting a start? I mean, I've been a big fan of Kai for a few years now because I used to watch him in the Super League and whatnot, but I reckon he's going to have an absolute blinder this weekend. He's going to have a big game.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm happy for him to be in the starting side.
Yeah, so am I. And you know what? Sam McIntyre, I mean, obviously he's more of a middle forward, but we saw McIntyre play a bit of back row in Perth against the Rabbitohs. He played about 20 minutes of back row. He ended up scoring a try. So I'm very confident he will do a good job in the back row.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for him too. He's solid. He's reliable. Our edge defense is,
it's been shocking.
like if we have a win, like he's really got to consider who's going to be on that edge, because that's where all the points get scored.
Honestly, like obviously next week we've got the Roosters and the boys play Origin Wednesday, and it's a 3-day turnaround from Perth to Sydney. You would almost like, if anyone backs up from Origin like Cotter, Nanai, you would almost just be like, you know what, we'll put you on the bench for the game. Just start you off the bench. You'd almost do that, wouldn't you?
Well, look, if these guys kill it,
yeah,
me, yes, personally, I would even consider, and I said it last year when we won both of our Origin games with missing all our stars. I would have given and I'm pretty sure we'd lost the weeks before that. Like, I would have rewarded that side for playing so well with another game and the longevity of the season. I would have given them blokes a rest.
Yeah, I think it was the Warriors game. I think we played Origin on the Wednesday, and then we played the Warriors in Townsville. Everyone backed up, and we got
touched up. Yeah.
We got touched up by them. Now, lastly, before we move on, Caden Lars will debut this weekend. He's coming off the bench, jersey number 17. I have heard a lot of big raps about Caden Lars, and I haven't seen much of him play, to be honest, but I really hope he debuts, and I hope he debuts and has a great game on Saturday night.
Yeah, like same. I haven't seen 1 minute of him play, to be honest.
Yeah.
I've just what I've heard on social media about him.
Yeah.
Peyton says he's young, he's 100 mile an hour. So,
Good.
He looks like a fairly decent sized bloke too. So if these boys, him, and I'd like to see Thomas McKaylee have some more minutes than 19.
I think he will this weekend, considering who's out. I think McKaylee will get at least 30 minutes, which will be good for him.
Yeah.
He should get at least 30 minutes. Now, Caden Lars, he's 190 centimeters. He's 104 kilos, and he's 19 years old. So, good luck to the young kid. I hope he has a blinder.
Yeah, me too. Look, when I looked at that team list,
yesterday,
I had a brief look at it, but then I had to look at it again at work.
Yeah.
Because I operate in a lift, so I get a bit of downtime at times to study the team a bit better. And I just thought to myself, this is a good side.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of balance. we've got a bit of experience. We got blokes who have been dropped. We got blokes who are making debuts.
Yeah, it's exciting stuff.
Guys that are coming back from injury that really want to really want to try and get into the team. So to me, that's why I believe this is a must-win game for these guys, because they're probably not going to get their shot if we lose, and we lose badly. So to me, especially if we lose, because it's not just this week. To me, it's going to start becoming every week that we need to win. We need to get into the top 4, and we need to stay there.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the good thing is this is not the last time we'll see this team anyway, because we played the Storm in round 18 and we will be without our State of Origin players again. So it's a good opportunity for some of these blokes to go, you know what? I did a great job against the Dolphins when we had our Origin players out. If you name me for the Melbourne game, certain players are available. I put their hand up. Now, just quickly before we move on, the hooker rotation this week. So Kyle Lawton will start at hooker, and Harrison Edwards will come off the bench and play a bit of hooker as well. I would have started Harrison personally, and I would have had Lawton come off the bench. Would you have done the same thing, or would you have started Lawton?
No, well, I don't get me wrong. I've got nothing against Lawton. We haven't seen a lot of him.
Yeah,
Harrison's been very reliable, and he's got a little bit of X factor about him. He can ball play. He's an effort player. So I definitely would have started him.
I hope they make a late change and Harrison starts the game and Lawton comes off the bench. I've been, you know me. I'm one of Harrison's biggest supporters out there. I love his work. I'm a big fan of him. I know Kyle Lawton has started hooker in the past, and that's his primary position. But I'm with you. I think Harrison's been playing great footy, and I think he should be starting this weekend. So we'll see if there's a late change there or not. All right, now moving on to some news. Now, obviously, Friday night was a tough night, and funny enough, the Cowboys got a private jet from Melbourne after the game straight up to Townsville. I think they got back to Townsville about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:30 in the morning. It was pretty late, from what I understand. And then obviously Saturday, we had the big 30-year celebration up there at the stadium and whatnot. There was a big event going on. And the 30-year team was unveiled. It was announced. And there was some interesting selections here. A lot of people blowing up about some of the selections. And we'll go over it now. So the Cowboys 30-year team. So Matt Bowen was the fullback. Kyle Felt and Matt Singh were on the wings. Kane Linnett and Paul Bowman in the centers. Michael Morgan and Jonathan Thurston in the halves. Matt Scott and James Tarmo in the front row. Aaron Payne at hooker. Gavin Cooper and Luke O'Donnell in the back row. And Jason Tamalolo at lock forward. I was a little bit surprised about Kane Linnett. I've got nothing against him. I just was a little bit surprised that he was picked over a few others, but it's a fantastic team. It's some greats in there. But what's your take on that side, Callum?
Yeah, well, I would have had Josh Hannay, but at the same time, Kane Linnett won the grand final with us. So
yeah.
And it was a fairly unchanged team that year. So I think, all the people out there whinging, that team was good enough to win enough games to get into the finals. And those guys that were picked from the 2015 squad were good enough to beat a good Broncos side.
Yeah.
So to me, they all deserve their spots. And What was the other one that was people were whinging about?
Was it Aaron Payne over Jake
Yeah,
Granville?
yeah, yeah.
That's
And
a tough one. That's a really tough one. It's very close. Like, if you come up to me with two cards and it's Aaron Payne and Jake Granville, and I got to pick one only, it's a tough decision. It's a really tough call. I just think Jake Granville, I mean, if we're talking about the grand final and that year itself, Granville was one of the top three hookers of 2015. And if you go back and watch the grand final, he was probably our best player. I know Thurston got the Clive Churchill medal because of everything that happened in the moments, but Granville's performance in that grand final was probably the best player on the field.
yeah, I personally I believe that Granville should have got the Clive Churchill.
Me too.
I thought Thurston was probably one of Thurston's worst games of the year. Like if Granville didn't play as good as he did, I don't think we win the grand final.
I think
he set up two tries.
Yeah, the James Tarmo one was a good one, and the Justin O'Neill one. Yep. Thurston's game. Look, in the grand final, I've watched it back so many times. I think I'm comfortable with a 6 out of 10 for Thurston, but because it's Thurston, you expect a 9 out of 10. But looking back on the game, I'll probably give him a 6 in that grand final. Definitely not his best game. I'm with you on that.
But the same with Aaron Payne. Like when we went on, when we were pretty much nobodies, Graham Murray come along, and then every year after that, 2004, we were serious contenders.
Yeah, exactly right. He was one of our best players. Him and Matt Bowen. They were constantly our best players. James Tarmo, are you comfortable with that one as well?
Yeah,
I am too.
Big fan of his.
A lot of people were complaining about, what about Kyle Webb, Paul Rahihi? I think Tarmo deserves it. I mean, Kyle Webb's obviously a really good contender for that spot as well. But
did they have a bench for that?
Nah, no bench. Just won the 13.
Oh,
they should have had it. They should have had a bench. They really should have.
Well, you'd have Carl Webb.
Yeah.
You'd have
Granville.
Yeah, you'd all them guys, and like to me, it's a no-brainer. It's a 17-man team.
Yeah, you got to have a bench.
And all them guys, instead of everyone crying, you could have had your Carl Webbs, your Jake Granvilles, Paul Rahihi, and
whoever else you wanted there, I guess.
Yeah.
I think it's strong. I mean, Paul Bowman obviously deserves his spot. Luke O'Donnell. I think Luke O'Donnell and James Tarmo, because of longevity, like Tarmo was with us from like 2009 to friggin' 2018? How long? He was there for ages.
Yeah, he was there for a while.
Bolton is another one that's probably a bit unlucky as well.
Who?
Scott Bolton.
Yeah.
He would have been on the bench for me.
I think I would have had one of the Sims brothers on the bench.
Oh, yeah, Tarek Sims.
Yeah, or Ashton.
Ashton, yeah. Look, the only change that I would make is I would get rid of Kane Lynette just because I think Brett Tate's time at the Cowboys was very good. Josh Hannay is a fan favourite. Even Valentine Holmes to an extent. Like, I know people are going to go, how could you say Val Holmes? Val Holmes was with us from 2020. He was with us for 4 years. And 2 of those years, I think he was center of the year. So, Val Holmes or Kane Lynette? I think everyone's probably saying Val's a better player, but I think the criteria, the way they've done it, it's got to be on the back of a bit of longevity and It's got. I reckon it has a lot to do with it as well. Longevity. So, look, it's a great team. I can't really complain about it too much.
Yeah, well, it's a if you can have a talk with people without them, being too bitter, it's a great debate.
Oh yeah.
It's a great debate who'd be on the bench.
I know you're probably gonna think this is crazy, but I saw people on Instagram and Twitter complaining about Lachlan Coote should be there over Matt Bowen. And I'm like, listen, Matt Bowen's the second best Cowboy of all time. Matt Bowen is one of the first picks. I love Lachlan Coote, and he was great with us, but Matty Bowen was something else.
Yeah, well, and I've said this many times. Matty Bowen, if Matty Bowen was in that team, we probably win the grand final a bit easier.
We win well. We win 13 plus. We put the Broncos to the sword.
Like he went to Super League, and I know the Super League's not as strong as the NRL, but he absolutely killed it.
Yeah, over at Wigan, killed it.
Like so did Lachlan Coote, to be fair, when he went over
he
there.
won. I think he won 2 or 3 grand finals in a row.
But you put the highlight reel together of the two of them, and Matty Bowen was doing what he done in the NRL, just scoring those ridiculous tries, making blokes just looks foolish.
This is my honest opinion, and I don't care if people disagree with this. If we had Matt Bowen in 2015, not only do we win the grand final against the Broncos very well, we probably win the minor premiership and we dominate the whole finals. Just my opinion. We win well. Can you imagine a prime Thurston with Morgan's Magic back then, Tamalolo, Matt Scott, Matt Bowen? We had Justin O'Neill, who was a strike center at the time. Like, we win that grand final very well. Like, it's comfortable. It's over at halftime. It really is. All right. Moving on to some news, and I think we touched on it last week a little bit, but the noise is getting a little bit louder, Callan. Should we sign Reed Marnie? Now, obviously, we need a hooker for next year. Wilson's going to the Roosters, which, is not great. It's not good, but we've got to move on from it. Now, I'm not sure if you watched the Bulldogs-Eels game the other day, but Reed Money got hooked to the bench so Lachlan Galvin could come on the field and play in the halves, and they put young Toby Sexton into hooker, and Reed Money was an absolute mess. He was severely upset about being hooked, and he was pissed off about it because Galvin's come in now and pretty much taken over, and Marnie's now not going to play the full game. Do you think we should sign him for next year?
Yeah, I would. He'd be on the top of my radar, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just think he's, if he's, everyone says he's a grub. I said it last week or whatever it was. That I said I think he's more of a smart ass than a grub. He gets under people's skin, and I think that's what you want. Like, if all that's lacking is a little bit of discipline, well, I don't know about all the viewers out there that were perfect little kids, but I was not. And
never.
I turned out to be a decent human being today. I've had to self-discipline myself when I left home to get out of bed and go to work every day without mummy and daddy getting me out of bed, So I think that's easy fix to me. You got to look at where the Bulldogs are sitting. They've been sitting on the top of the ladder all year, and mate, your dummy half's one of the key positions. So he's had a big part to play in that team being where they are. He's a great defender.
Yeah, no doubt. And when we bought John Bateman, everyone's like, "Oh, you just signed a grub," but it's like, we needed an enforcer. And Bateman's been very good. He's been a solid pickup for us. And I think Reed Marnie can do the same.
Well, to be honest, like his fucking phone. To be honest, I would have liked to seen a bit more mongrel out of Bateman, and I can't really think of one grubby thing that Bateman's done.
The worst thing he did was probably on the weekend when he got suspended for that trip. He did a trip on Sean Bloor. There wasn't much in it, but he tripped him. That's probably the worst thing he's done.
When you talk about grub acts, you're talking about head eyes, you're talking about, sticking your fingers in blokes' eyes, rubbing their face into the ground, all that dirty shit that you try to get away with. And like, I haven't seen him do any of that. Like, if anything, I'd like him to be a bit more grubby, to be honest.
Yeah, be more aggressive, yeah.
But he's been good for us. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. But he's suspended at the moment. Everyone could type in and go, "You're full of shit, Callan," because he's just been suspended. Well, what round are we in? And we're losing, and you're desperate, and it's a trip. Like,
it's not the end of the world.
I haven't seen the proper play. Like, how full on of a trip was it? Was it one of them reactionary things?
It was off. It was off. So the Storm did a grubber kick, and he pretty much slid across and tripped him with his. It was not much in it.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's not going to be grub of the year act.
Nah, nothing like that. But you're right. I think Reed Marnie's what we need. We lose Robson. We need a replacement. We got that young Xavier Kurzik hooker coming through, but he's probably another year or two away from actually being ready for NRL. I'm thinking 2027 for him. So, Reed Marnie on a 2-year deal, I think it'd be a great thing for the club.
And Reed Marnie's been in the conversation to be in the Queensland side, So to me, that's got to speak volumes of not just my personal opinion, but for a lot of people's opinion.
Well, considering you look at the Queensland hookers, right? You've got Harry Grant, who's the hooker. Then you've probably got Ben Hunt or Reed Marnie. So he's always in the conversation. He's always thereabouts anyway.
Yeah.
If Harry Grant was injured and he was out of Origin, because Ben Hunt's still out, Reed Marnie would probably be the hooker.
Yeah, 100%.
So obviously Reed Marnie's not Reece Robson, but it's kind of a like for like when you think about it.
Yeah, I believe. And he's got a kick, he's got probably got a better kicking game than Reece Robson.
Yeah, well, Robson doesn't kick very often. He does maybe one kick a game or one kick every 2 or 3 games.
Yeah.
And Reed Marnie does it all the time from, inside the 40, goes for a 40-20 and whatnot. So we probably get more in attack with Reed Marnie than we do Robson.
Yeah.
So hopefully we sign him because we need someone for next year to replace Robson. Fingers crossed. All right. Let's get to some tips, predictions for the Cows Dolphins, and then we'll get into some fan questions. All right. Round 15, Callan. Gee, it's gone quick this season. Far out. Tomorrow night, the local derby down there at Shark Park. The Sharks and the Dragons. Who do you like in this one?
I want to go to the Dragons.
Wow, really? I'm going to go to the Sharks, but I'm not.
You've said that you've gone that wow a few times, and my silly tips have come off.
We're gonna have to start putting some fucking money on them.
That's why I've got money, mate. So I'm not a big gambler.
Dragons are paying about $3.40 here. Jeez, might have to put $5 on them. Dragons. Oh, I'm going Sharks. Friday night, Titans against Manly on the Gold Coast, but Manly welcome back Tommy Turbo, Jason Saab, and Cherry Evans. They're all playing.
I'm going to go for another. Every game that I would have went with my heart last week, they ended up winning because I was going with my brain, and I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to go to the Gold Coast Titans.
Ooh. All right, I'll go Manly. There. Saturday, Knights versus Roosters from Newcastle.
I'll go the Roosters. I'll go with my brain on that one.
I think Roosters are going to have a big win. I reckon they're going to flog the Knights. Give me Roosters 13 plus in that one. We'll get the Cows Dolphins soon. Sunday, Rabbitohs versus Bulldogs from Accor Stadium.
Oh, you have to go the Bulldogs, I think.
I'm going to go Souths. Bulldogs have got a few out for Origin. And last time they played without Origin players, the Dolphins gave it to them. So I'm going to go the Rabbitohs, but I've got no idea what's going to happen there.
Well, I think Lockie Galvin and I think a lot of them guys who will be trying to secure spots, I think they'll lift.
Yeah.
If they're anything like us when we're out with our main guys.
All right, and Cowboys versus Dolphins Saturday night up there in Townsville. I'm not sure if this surprises you or not, Callum, but the Cowboys are not favourites. We're paying $2.50 to win.
Yeah, not overly surprised, but we're one-eyed, so I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know if it's going to be a high scoring or what. So I nearly picked the same points every week. So I'm going to go a little bit different this week. I'm going to go 24-18.
I like that.
Not that different for the opposing team, but I think Drinky will nail his shots.
Yeah.
So 6-4 is a 24, and their kicker's a bloody good kicker too. So
Sako,
24-18.
Well, I'm going to go Cowboys by 6 as well. I think it will be a high-scoring game. If I had to give you a score prediction, I'm not confident with our defense, so there'll be points. I'll say 32-26 Cowboys. 32-26. First try scorer, I'm going to go with Kai O'Donnell in the back row.
I'm going to go Braden Burns.
I like it, Braden Burns. And for an anytime try scorer, you know what? I'm going to say this until it friggin' happens. Harrison Edwards will score his first try this weekend for the Cowboys. Edwards, anytime try scorer.
Yeah, well, the minute you stop backing him, he'll score.
Yeah, probably.
I'll go Hesse for any time try scorer.
Just quietly.
Has he scored one?
Hess, not this year, no.
Yeah, so I'll go Hesse.
He's in the big number 10 this week, so it's a good chance. Gee, I tell you what, it'd be good to see Caden last score on debut off the bench.
Oh, yeah.
The scenes in Townsville, they'll be going nuts up there. Are you going to the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be there. Beauty. Sweet ass. All right. Well, before we go, we'll get a couple of fan questions up here. There are a couple to get through. I think there's 3 or 4, actually. Let me just get it here. All right. Here we go. All right. So, first one comes from Tyson from Cairns. What have you made of Griffin Neame this year? I think he's been good, but I feel like he could lift a bit. What about you, Callum?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much the same. I think he's been good, but I think what I believe in him anyway is I think he can be better. Well, I know he can be better. Like we've seen some of what he can do, like especially when he played for New Zealand.
Yeah.
I probably haven't seen that level from him this
In a
year,
while.
but yeah, I'm not anti on him, that's for sure.
Next question. Caleb from Tamworth says, "Hi Nick and Callan. Braden Burns or Jackson Paulo?" I think Braden Burns personally, but Jackson Paulo in the 2 games he's played has been solid.
Yeah, I think it's a hard pick, but I'd probably go the same. Narrowly, I'll go Braden Burns just from when he has played. He's nearly always been nearly the best player. He's nearly had the most meters. I think he did on the first game.
Yeah, like 200 meters or something.
Yeah.
And a try. Yeah. Cooper. Actually, Cooper was in the chat before. Shout out to Cooper in the live chat. If you could choose any player to sign with the Cowboys, who would it be? Well, I think we're going to need another middle forward soon because McLean's coming to the end and Tamalolo's not getting any younger. So I think we need another middle forward. I would actually like us to go out and sign the Titans front rower, Mo Fodawaker. I think he'd be a great pickup if he were available. So that's who I'd like to see come up to the Cowboys.
Any player,
Any current player.
Payne Haas.
Would cost a fortune, but I'd love it as well.
Yeah, if you're going to ask me my Christmas, like, you don't always get what you want for Christmas.
Yeah, well, yeah. And last question, Rob from Gladstone. What does Callan think about Jackson Purdue in the halves? That's a question for you to answer.
This isn't one of my mates from work, is it? Asking
Rob from Gladstone.
Like I spoke to a bloke at work today. He's another Cowboy supporter, and I said to him, and you can back me up on this. When he got picked, I was disappointed for Clifford, but I was very excited for Purdue.
Yeah.
So I got nothing against Purdue. Let's get that very, very straight. But we're not winning games. So that's the only reason. And I just feel like he was an absolute strike weapon out in the centres. So for this year, for the sake of our season, I would rather it go back to the way it was. So he's definitely going to be something special of the future. There's no doubt about that. So I like him. I like him a lot. And he's a nice kid. I always go up and have a yarn to him. He's very respectful, very giving of his time. So if his mum and dad are watching, I really like your son. But, for the sake of the season, I'd like it to go back the way it was because I just feel like whatever we've gained with having him in there, we've lost out on the edge.
I think that's well answered. It's a very good question, Rob. We appreciate the question. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Like, I think our record with Purdue and Dearden together is 1-2 now. So it's, Dearden and Clifford together. I'm not sure what the win percentage would be, but it'd be better than 50%. Put it that way. It'd be a lot better than that. Plus, we won 4 games in a row with that combination, Clifford and Dearden. I know Clifford was an 8 out of 10 every week, but it's like it's working. We shouldn't be changing it like mid-year. So, yeah, I'm with you, Callum. I'm with you on that. All right. Well, that's all the fan questions. We appreciate them. Want to say thank you to the live chat for always. It's been a good show tonight. Good discussions about certain topics. Thank you, Callan, and I'll see you next Wednesday, and then we'll both be at Allianz next week for the Roosters Cowboys.
Yeah. I'm heading down Friday morning
Yeah.
to Sydney. So yeah, I've never been to the new Allianz. I went to the old Allianz once.
Oh, you're gonna love it next week. Trust me.
So I'm sitting in the Cowboys Bay. So yeah.
Beauty.
So
Beauty.
So I hope to see you all there, all Cowboy fans, and
Oh, in the chat, Cooper says, "See you there, Cooper, mate. Come over and say hello to us, mate. Come say hello."
Yeah, come and say g'day, mate.
I think we're sitting pretty close to each other anyway, Cullen. I'm in the Cowboys Bay as well. I can't remember what row I'm in. I think I'm in I think it's the 5th or 6th row from memory.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm in. Is it letters? I think it's E.
Yeah, I think I'm in E as well. It's around there. Pretty close. Anyway, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Everyone will hear Nick, and I'm normally the second loudest.
Everyone will hear Nick. You're not wrong about that. Oh shit! Haven't got your tickets yet. We'll do. Yeah, all right, Cooper. I'll send you my ticket. You should come sit with us. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe. We're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night, and go the Cowboys on Saturday night. Bring on the Dolphins. Looking forward to it. All right.
Go the Cowboys.
Make sure you look out for Callan on the TV. Look out for him. He'll be there somewhere.
No, you won't. Not on a home game. We don't get any coverage on the home game.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Go the Cowboys.